Oh, actually, so you're gonna have this one. I'm gonna have this one.
Okay, cool.
But I am so excited to have you on the podcast here today, and this is like the official after the first time meeting.
Yes.
That we're seeing face to face, but we have talked a little bit about the direction of where we want to take things, and it's really exciting that you have trusted me with one of your projects that I'm going to be working on, and we're going to work on together.
Yes.
Today we have the energy curator, Joshua Moss.
The light in the dark, y'all. First of all, thank you for having me on your show. I'm a fan.
Thank you.
And I'm also a fan of you as an individual as well.
I appreciate that.
This project that we are about to work on and that we're about to release to the world means a lot to me. It's a movement. It's more than just a song. We're releasing a song, y'all. Yeah.
Okay.
And it's called Shine, #promo. But, it's a movement for me. And me being an energy curator, my mission statement is to ignite the flame within every soul that I encounter. Okay. So I want this song to be cultivating. I want it so when you're in the car and you turn that radio up and you hear it, I want you to you could be 5 years old and you start bopping your head to it. You could be 32 years old, you could bop your head to it. You could be a construction worker, at the job, having a rough day, experienced a lot of dark things throughout your day. You might be going through financial hardships. You might just be feeling down.
Yeah. And
this song comes on, Shine, and you're just like, hold on. Hey, you know what? I'm not sad no more. Like, okay, wait. Ooh, okay. And you forget where you are. Like, I want this to be music that is real and that we bring that component to music back. Like, you escape your reality, and that's what Shine is about. It's a movement. It's my mission statement as an energy curator, being Joshua Moss, igniting the flame within every soul that I encounter, being that light in the midst of that dark tunnel that we just sometimes don't feel like we can escape. That's what we're doing. Damn. That's not just me. That's because you're gonna breathe life into this. We're gonna birth this together.
Yeah. Damn. Okay. That's insane. That is insane. But I love it. I love that general energy. Like you're completely tunneled in to exactly what you want. So that is awesome. And I'm excited too because that's pretty much what music does for me. Like that's what I try to bring out in music is that feeling of like being lost and losing yourself into the music, so I'm excited to see what we can come up with.
I'm excited. So. It's been a long time in the making, honestly. I've been praying on this idea for, I would say, almost 5 years now. Like this specific song, I've been an artist. I've been creative. I have clothing brands. I do all these different things outside of being just an energy curator. And I just been praying like, God, when is it going to be my time to just release my music? Because I like to be obedient. I like to seek God first in everything that I do. And he'll tell me like, it's not time yet. And I'm like, well, I'm ready. He's like, it's not time yet. I'm like, well, when is it going to be time? Yeah. And now it is time. And God has given me the full green light to shine. He's like, no, let the light shine. Let it shine. He's like, let it shine. Let it shine. I'm like, okay. I hear you. And this was, further confirmation in why I knew you were the correct and the best person to execute this. Literally, I traveled to D.C. in July.
Let's get into how we met.
Yes, and literally, before I even came, I didn't have a plane ticket or anything booked like 2 days before I came. And I was praying, and God was like, you're going to D.C. I was like, I'm going to D.C.? He's like, you're going to D.C. and you're going to go pray in front of the White House. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Okay, that's no pressure. Cool. How are we going to go about that? He was like, you're going to go check online, and the ticket is going to be $150, and you're going to book it. I was like, okay. Immediately after I said amen and went and checked I had not checked the flight or anything before this. Like, I can't even make this up. Went and checked the flight. Guess how much the ticket was?
$150.
$150
oh
exactly.
My God.
I wish it was $140, right? No, I was grateful. It was $150, exactly what he said it was. I said, okay, so I'm going to Washington, D.C. So I packed my bag and I flew to Washington, D.C. And in the midst of that, I encountered you being out, and I ran into you. And then I just remember just like acknowledging you, and I could see you were the light in the midst of the dark. We were out in a social setting, and I could see you shining in your own unique way. And I said, okay. So then that's when we connected, and you told me what you do. You make music, you're a producer. I was like, wow. But y'all, before I went to DC, I had been praying on, God, when is it going to be time for me to make music? Okay. He was telling me like, okay, it's almost time. Like, just hold on, be patient. He was like, you're almost there. And I'm like, okay. well, how am I going to actually do this? Because it's like, okay, now you're telling me I'm almost there, but it's like, I don't have anything that I've built so far. It's like, I didn't take any steps towards that yet. It's all in my head, but I haven't made it tangible. So he was like, I'm going to take care of everything. Same way he took care of the flight being $150. He took care of me meeting you. And literally, I ran into you, and literally right then and there, I'm like, wow, God sent you directly to me. I'm in D.C. I don't know anybody, you know, like this is my first time in D.C.
Oh, wow.
And here, directly, we just crossed paths instantly. I'm like, you're very cool. And we have an instant cool connection. So it's just like, wow. So now here we are.
I can't imagine you having a bad connection with anybody.
Oh, wow. Thank
like,
you.
You just seem like such a personal kind of guy. So
Thank you.
Where does your light come from? Because I feel like a lot of your energy like derives from positivity. Wow. So how would you become so positive?
Well, you know what? I always say this. Any person that embodies a great amount of light has embodied and encountered a great amount of dark. So true. Throughout my life, I've definitely endured and gone through a lot of things, but I've always, through my lens of positivity, been able to push past it and propel myself towards that end of the tunnel. So even if I didn't see the light at the end of the tunnel, I knew that there had to be an end to this tunnel that just appeared to be an endless, darkless thing that I was going through. So I always just kept that instilled in myself. And of course, my number one source, to answer your question, is God. Me seeking into the source is kind of like when your phone battery is running low. You put on low power mode. Okay, that can only save your battery for so long. That's like our social battery, our energetic battery. It has to be recharged. So what do you do with your iPhone or your charger? You plug it into the source.
Yeah.
You plug it into the source, and that source will give you the full charge that you need. So anytime I feel low, anytime I feel down, I feel like I'm operating on my own strength, my own will. I'm like, hold on. Because truthfully, it's not me. I couldn't, we go through so many things in life just with what we're experiencing today's social climate and just everything with gas being high and taxes and like trying to be creative and getting a job and maintain all the different things that we go through and endure. Definitely just finding that peace in the middle of that, connecting to the source, trusting in God, trusting in whatever you believe in that keeps you going, that gets you up in the morning saying, you know what? I'm here. So it's like, I might be going through this, I might XYZ, it might be that, but how can I get the best outcome of today? How can I maximize today's potential? Like, what do you do? So that has really pushed me to answer your question, like just going.
So did you used to be like really lazy and unmotivated?
So fun fact about me, I actually used to be 250 pounds.
Oh, wow.
I used to be 250 pounds, what the doctors would say is morbidly obese. And I lost over 100 pounds. I was like 150 fantastic. Now.
How long did it take for you to do that?
I lost 80 pounds in 3 months.
What?
No surgery, no diet, anything, like 3 months.
What'd you do? Did you chop off a limb?
Right. No, literally, you would think so. And it's so funny when I did that, but
You chopped off a limb?
Food. No, I didn't chop off a limb. I was just very dramatic when I first. So I've had like 2 weight losses, but my first initial weight loss was when I was about to be a senior in high school. So funny, quick story. I wanted to hide the fact that I was losing the weight from everybody, so I would stuff my clothes.
So you would try to look bigger than you
I tried to look bigger because I was losing the weight. I had started working out. It all started because one morning I woke up, I was having chest pains, right? And I was like, I'm pretty sure I'm having a heart attack. But I didn't want to tell my mom because I was like, I didn't want to make my mom scared or worry.
Yeah.
Being a kid. And I went to school and everything, trying to push through. I even told my sister, I'm like, I think I'm having a heart attack. And she's like, you should probably tell somebody. And I'm like, it's okay. I'm going to just keep going through. That shows that darkness I know there's some end of this tunnel. Like, there has to be light in this.
Yeah.
So I just keep going. And I went to school. I was like, I can't take this anymore. I went to the nurse and they called my mom and everything. She took me to the hospital. The doctors was telling me that I was pre-diabetic. That my blood circulation was very poor. And just like a lot of like just my eating habits were just not clean. I wasn't having a heart attack. Thank you, God. But it was just strain on my body being so young and weighing so much. So I knew from that moment, I'm like, okay, something got to give. So I just started eating clean. I started working out. I'm also a vegetarian, so I don't eat meat.
Okay.
So that definitely helped as well. But it was really just the eating and the working out. And then the first thing, too, was the mindset switch. It was a lot of times before that I was like, okay, I'm going to do it and I'm going to lose the weight. And I gave in to it. I'm like, it's just one cookie or it's like, it's one pizza, it won't hurt. And then next thing you know, it's a whole box and I done Chips Ahoy. Like, it's just like all the different things. So I pushed through, I prevailed and I went and I lost the weight in 3 months.
Damn. So because your health was on the line, you were like, I really need to make a change.
Yeah.
And so not a lot of people can just lose 80 pounds in 3 months. What? So after 3 months, did you stop stuffing your clothes?
So
Or are you still stuffed?
right, no, this is my actual body, y'all.
Okay.
No, but what I did was, because the year was about to end for school, so I decided, I was like, well, I don't want everyone to know that I'm losing this weight, because I'm dramatic. Everything that I do is dramatic. Like y'all will see with Shine, what we're about to build, it's gonna be dramatic. Like everything that I do is very thought out, thorough, and I love it to be creative. I love to think outside of the parameters of the world, society, the limitations in the box. So I hit the weight or whatever. I would stuff my clothes. People were noticing that my neck and my face was slimming down, but they didn't really think of it too much. And then it was summertime. So during the summer, I went hard, like boom, 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 like just.
Would you do a lot of cardio?
Cardio. I used to just go run in my neighborhood, wake up and just run. When I'm done running, go back in the house. We had a treadmill. I would go run on the treadmill.
In Atlanta?
No, so I'm actually from Houston, Texas.
Oh, okay.
So I went to high school in Houston, Texas, and then when I graduated from high school, then I moved to Atlanta to go to the illustrious Clark Atlanta University.
Oh, very nice.
And that's actually where I received my bachelor's degree from Clark Atlanta University.
That's what's up, man. Congrats.
Yes, so lost the weight, hid from the summer. I didn't even let my friends have access to me or see me at all. Only the people that were in the house with me saw me.
Why'd you hide it?
Because I knew how I wanted to present it to them. Because, okay, so also, too, I promised myself when I was younger that I would experience school skinny.
Okay.
So, and it's so crazy when I say it out loud now, but I remember it was my junior, and I'm like, okay, I'm still big. Like, I'm gonna graduate high school next year, and I want to know what it feels like to be in high school skinny, you know, look good, feel good, and I was like, I'm gonna do it. So I had already made my mind up on doing that before I even had the health, anything. So I feel like that was God just like putting it, like, because he needed me to actually like really get it done. Same thing with Shine. He needed me to actually get it done. So it's like, that's just how he kind of plays his role in my life. Like, you know, he'll step in when he knows like I'm going to fall short. He's like, here, get up. Like, you know, so I hid the whole summer. Everybody at August, when it was time to go back to school, like 2 weeks before school started, I sent out an invitation to majority of the school, and it was like, you were invited to Joshua Moss's reveal party.
Oh, okay.
I still have the flyer to this day. It's actually hilarious. And they had no idea. They're like, what is he revealing? Okay. But they still showed up. I had a full house. I rented out a venue. I had like a podium. I had like a 3-tiered cake, camera crew, everything, like just so dramatic, so dramatic. And I had everyone in there. They wore their all black. And I played my intro song, walked through and busted through like the doors with the streamers and stringers on, and I literally busted through in everyone's mouth, and I have this all in video. Everyone's mouth was like, oh, like, because it's the first time, and it's their natural reaction. It's like their first time, like, oh my gosh, because they've never seen me skinny, so it was just like, and at that point, I had gotten way smaller than what they seen, and I wasn't stuffing my clothes at that point, so they were able to see the true me. So that just lets you see like how my thought process is, my brain, and how I process everything.
So it had to be a little bit more than just the reveal. Like you had all those people there, you celebrating, but like, was it like did you talk about anything? Did you have a speech? Did you have like guest performers?
I did. How do you know this?
I actually, they told me about it, but I wish I actually ended up coming. But
yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't invite you. Oh my goodness, how rude of me. But I actually did give a speech because there was a podium and a stage. So I walked in, I performed first. But this is before I don't have any music. So I was just dancing and bopping to the song that was out then. It was like Bodak Yellow.
Oh, okay.
By Cardi B, and I was just dancing to the song. That was the intro song. And so I'm just dancing to it. And then when the music cut off, I go on the stage and I'm like, thank you all for coming here. I tell them basically my story. And then I'm like, also YouTube is dropping with my 80-pound weight loss journey. So y'all can go ahead and click and watch that too. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. So it's very, we go cross the T's and dot the I's.
Yeah.
But it was just very refreshing. I did it more so in the fact of I just wanted to celebrate myself. And I kind of wanted to do it in front of people because it was like, I've been fat in front of everybody. So it was like, I want y'all to enjoy this new me in front of everybody. It was more so of an introduction for me. Kind of like a big dramatic one, but it was kind of like, this is me. This is who I am. And this is what we're about to do.
Like
a rebirth, literally. like me reinventing myself.
So when you guys were came time of eating the cake, were people kind of looking at you like, are you sure you're gonna eat? You want to eat that?
I didn't eat the cake.
You didn't?
Mm-mm.
Okay, that's
I didn't
that's
eat the cake.
self-control,
Yeah, because
But you know what? I think that like what comes with longevity, which is important. It doesn't matter how much you lose if you can't maintain that. Is that you need to be create enough balance in your life for that way you don't feel like you're actually needing to lose that amount of weight. Instead of it's just like maintain your lifestyle so that way it's just gonna happen. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So that way I think you can eat that cake, so you don't have to worry about it. But especially right when you're just getting off losing that weight.
right. It's like, oh,
You don't want to jump right back.
You don't want to
into
jump
a
back into that
second reveal party.
Yeah, it's like, kind of like an alcoholic or something. You're not gonna go to the bar after your first successful AA meeting. Like
Yeah.
you're just gonna avoid that. But when you look to the root of it, you wouldn't need to worry about it either. So I definitely understand
Exactly.
that.
I have to quickly set the timer. I don't know how much time we have on the thing.
Okay.
Because I know it turns off every 20 minutes, and I just want to make sure. So that was 16, and then this one looking great. That one's 16 as well.
Okay.
So I'm just gonna have to. We have another 10 minutes at least.
Okay, cool.
On this, and then we're gonna have to restart it.
Okay.
That way I can edit it properly.
Love that.
Yeah,
Okay.
and I think an hour for the podcast actually works really well.
That's hot.
I used to do it I used to just talk for as long as possible, and that was really cool. But I don't know. I think it's easier for people to consume 1 hour content. But
Yeah, and sometimes it'd be so much because it's like it do be good conversation, but then it's like, how do I make this more concise? So I like that.
But I also think that an hour isn't enough time to really dig deep into someone's like life. Like
It's
if they're
not.
really putting it out, like this is the time to share like what you got going on. So
Yeah.
it's like a whole hour is not that long.
It's not actually.
And the way I view like people is that I'm just like so passionate about learning and like sharing each other's perspective that it's just like a drop of a dime of like the amount of actually getting to know someone. So
Yeah, that's very
yeah,
true.
like I even noticed like 2 hours in, like we're even a deeper like conversation.
you get to
like,
the meat of it.
becomes
That's so
real and
true.
stuff like
That's
that.
true.
So I like to have like a longer winded conversations, even though it doesn't even feel that way for me. But I don't know. It just depends on who I'm with. But I think at least for the podcast, an hour. We gotta just jam it all in an hour and then leave people wanting more.
Yeah, because also too, well, with us, we're about to give them a lot more. So this isn't all they gonna
this
get.
is just kind of like
so you can get it right now. You can get it on Shine. You can get it in a lot of different other things that we're gonna be doing. So one, I'm just very excited. But I actually have a question for you.
What's that?
So we've gotten to talk a little bit about me, but tell me a little bit about you. Outside of what we're working on right now, tell me what you got going on.
Okay. So I've got the podcast. As we know. Road to 1,000. Want to get to 1,000 by the end of this year.
Congratulations in advance.
It'd be amazing. We're almost at 400 right now, so got to get to 1,000. I started a DJ and artist performing platform where anyone that I interview or just people that I really like, I'm gonna have them perform, and I'm gonna film them and put them on the pod after dark.
That's hot.
So that's really dope. We already had our first DJ Figgy. He performed last week.
Okay.
Killed it, and it was really well received for only 4 subscribers.
That's amazing.
Yeah, so
that's 4 people listening. So
no, it was more than that listening, but 4 people subscribed. So that was awesome. But I got a master class coming out soon that we filmed. We did 60 videos in April, and my editor finally got around to putting it together. So I've just got to put the website together, and then I'll have it as a package for people that want to learn music production and mixing, songwriting, to actually apply the techniques that I use in my songs in their own music. So, because I also do one-on-one mentoring lessons, so that way when someone is lost or they're looking for a little bit of another perspective, that's where I come in. I tell with my 12 years experience in making music, so I have a lot of different genres on my belt. So, and also just have a general feel of how to help people improve. So, I'm pretty raw and real in that sense. So
make sure you send that to me so I can sign up for that too.
Okay. I will. And then let's see. I'm also teaching martial arts.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been
very multifaceted.
I've been doing that for 12 years too. So
okay.
Yeah, I think that the way I see it is just a whole lifestyle thing. It helps each piece helps bring the whole thing together, because you need to have that strong mental fortitude, that discipline, in order to be good at music or anything that you're putting your mind to. So I think martial arts is like the backbone of like where you also can find internal confidence wherever situation you're in. Just knowing that at the end everything will be okay.
Yeah.
Because it's like you got yourself. You've seen what you had to go through in order to get to where you are. So
absolutely,
that's where my inner confidence comes from, is from martial arts, and struggling with my social anxieties and all that, just like challenging myself and putting myself out there through a sincere kind of way. So that and then also just enjoying the family, just trying to see them every week as long as I can, you know. So I value that very, very much. So yeah, just on the grind, working on just releasing music.
Got your hand in all the buckets. I love it. Yeah, I love it.
Just creating, you know, like I think that even from the beginning when I made music, I was like, oh man, I need to learn how to write, or I also need to learn how to like record someone, because I can't, like, I'm having a hard time finding people wanting to be part of it. So in the beginning, no one's gonna want to be part of it.
Right.
If they don't, because they don't really know what you can do.
Right.
Like it's kind of like, it's like, unless they're like really your friends, but not a lot of people are that way. So I had to learn how to do it myself, and now I'm applying that with media, with creating, like knowing a lot about cameras, editings, all of it. Like I think it's gonna be good to know for when I have my own full like network, and I'm gonna have all these artists that I'm gonna be working with, and also releasing their music and having my own label and doing performances.
Come on, label. Hey,
and,
that's hot.
Yeah, so I'm just getting to know all of the aspects of promotion, marketing, recording, that I could also like teach to when I'm gonna create a big team of people. That I was able to do it all by myself, and then also now work from the ground up and have other like-minded people with me. So,
well, first of all, congratulations in advance. Because when you're saying all of these things, I'm not only hearing you, I'm visualizing them. Like I'm able to see it. I see you planting the seed in the soil of every area of the, like, you know, thing you're tackling, you're going towards, and you're working in. So it's like you have your hand in these different baskets, and I see them all prospering. I see them all growing. I see you nourishing each one, because it's not like you're a sharecropper that's just gonna plant the seed and then leave and not and wait for the harvest for it to. No, you're taking care of them, and you're nurturing and you're nourishing each one, and you're pouring the right amount of things into each one. So it's like, kudos to you. That's hot. That's amazing. I'm excited to see what you're about to do.
Thank you. And it is about energy, though, like knowing how much energy you have to do certain things. So I think in the beginning, it takes so much more energy for you to even come up with the idea and being like, what can I do to actually make those steps happen? Right. But what I've noticed now is that it's just through that, I was talking to you about this a little earlier, is that it's just the act of doing that creates that momentum for you to realize the path of resistance was actually a lot less resistant than you thought. Right. So yeah, it's really just by starting is the first step to actually accomplishing your goal. So that's what I've been doing for like the last 7 months for the podcast, and then it's a matter of also trying to divide your time enough where you can actually focus on what you really want to do, which is for me the music, but each part now, you know, especially in this modern day, is all connected. So you need to know how to do every little thing. So
crossing T's, dot the I's.
Like, and then eventually creating a team behind that. So yeah, well, I appreciate you asking. You know, like it's definitely, I want to focus. I love the shared conversation, but I love to dig a little bit more into what makes Joshua you. Because you said, so you're a motivational energy curator.
So I like to, my title, self-proclaimed title, is energy curator, and I call myself the world's energy curator. So like, imagine if like it's a storm going on, right? And everyone in the neighborhood loses power. But you're the one house that has that backup generator. Everybody in the neighborhood's gonna come to that house, because it's like, hold on, like we need electricity, we need access to all of these things. So I like to consider myself that for this world, like what we're going through right now, especially what you were just referring to. Like, things are getting really dark out there in the world, and it's like, you know, unfortunately, we are in these times, but it's not up to us to be stuck in them. It's up to us to actually be the change that we want to see. So that's like been my motto my whole life, like being the change that I want to see. And I feel like that's what truly makes me me, because I don't just talk it, preach it, but I walk it and I live it. Like I embody that. Like I wake up like this. I go to sleep like this. Like this is really me. And it has always been me. I have learned to relearn like what it means to be me. Okay. But I will definitely say when I reflect back on like just me throughout life, no matter what I've gone through, no matter what experience, I've known that I've always been able to take something from it and allow it to groom me into the man that I am today.
Nice.
Definitely.
That's awesome. Yeah. I can see that it's really translated. And like you have been through a lot just based off of like how outspoken you are. I can tell that like you really want like not to be misunderstood, and you care about the way people view you, you know. Yes. So that's it's important. So, and you have this you make content. Content. You have a YouTube channel. What's that
so my YouTube channel is called Josh to Josh. I'm in the process of redoing it, but I do plan at the start of the year having a full rollout for that as well, because I want my creative things to go over there. But I actually have two businesses. I have a business that is Joshua Moss LLC, because I'm a fashion designer, so I make my own clothes. I do custom clothing.
Did you make this?
I did not make this.
That would
I did
be
not. Shout out to the brand, Fly Clothing. I did not make this, but it is fly. But I love to put things like this together. So even if it's some pieces that I don't necessarily make, I'm also a wardrobe stylist. For other people. And for myself as well. But like when I do it for other people, basically what I do is that thought that we have in our head, that dream, I turn it into reality. Like I have a gift, a niche to like kind of like take all those thoughts that get jumbled up in our head and like keep us stuck, and we're like, I don't know, like I see it, but you're like, how can I execute it? I'm like, oh, it's that simple. Like you just do pop pop, like put that there, and it's simple. And it's just like that's always been my talent, to just like reconfigure things and mold it into what it needs to be. And sometimes I don't even be knowing how I do it. Yeah. And that's how I know it's just me. It's not something I have to like practice or do. It's literally just what I'm passionate about and what I do.
See, I know that you're about to say something real when you start scatting in the middle of your sentence. You go scoop scat skitty badoo bat bat.
Yes, I call that a doo-wop pop.
Oh yeah.
So I have a lot of different catchphrases that I use, and one of them is a doo-wop pop. A doo-wop pop is just like a fill-in. So that's so funny how you just caught that. That's like a fill-in before you finna get to the what's hot. That's one of my other catchphrases. Like that's hot. Like okay, that's fresh out the grease. Like that's hot. It's you know when you cook it.
We're cooking with gravy.
Cook it with gravy. Like you know what I mean. Like you saucing it up. Like that's hot. Like that's a doo-wop pop. Yeah. That's a 1 2 3. You know when you're dancing, that's a 1 2. That's the rhythm of something. That's that pace of something. That sequence. So that's a 1 2. Or you'd be like, okay, so I just did a 1 2. You 3 4'd. That makes that a 5 6. But I'm trying to figure out how we 7 8 so we could 9 10. Okay. So it's like a I'm playing with numbers here and all this. You're like, well, where are the numbers coming from? But it's really energy behind those words, because that's really what words are, anyways. So
exactly.
Yes.
I love it. Yeah. So I don't want to put you on the spot, but I think everyone wants to hear something off the dome.
Okay.
Any type of freestyle that we can hear?
We could do that. Just give me a random topic.
All right. Squirrels.
Squirrels, I'm the best up in the world, and every time I'm coming around I say I'm mixed like a swirl. You acting like a leader, but you really acting not. And if you talking about me, I can come around and spin the block. I'm a squirrel, and I'm the best in the world. Got my hands up, and I'm about to go and squirrel like squirrel. I'm the best in the world. Every time I'm coming out, I'm the only one. Got my own champion, cause I just begun. And if you talk about me, I can do this for fun. I'm a squirrel, and I'm saying this up off the dome. I can keep it going all day, night and long.
Dang,
give me another word. Give me
really
another
good.
Word. Oh, really?
Damn, okay.
Give me another word.
Yeah, you killed it.
Squirrel was a little complex.
I know, that's... Yeah, all right. I like that. Swirl, world.
Swirl.
That was good. I actually really like that. Let's see. Any other word? Let's see. Tulum.
Tulum. Go and get the broom. Clean the mess up, and I got a new shoe, cause it's custom like my fit. I'm coming around hard. If you talk about me, I really spit bars. I'm hot, but I ain't going to Mars. If you talk about me, you can go and get the bars. And I ain't talking about the sentence. Let me start it before I go and then I finish. You talk about me, I'ma end them like a menace. I'ma come around cause I really like a dentist. If you say that I'm clean cause I'm shining real bright, I can do like my song said, do it all night. I'ma be the light up in the dark, make it all right. You can talk about me, I'ma be the one in sight. You can talk about me, but I'll really make your life. And if you really want to get it, I'ma really make it bright. I'm a real star. I'm about to take a trip. I'm going to Tulum. Better go and take a dip.
Damn. Damn. All right. Freaking. See. You killed it. I got one to kind of like keep it going.
Yeah,
like,
I don't mind. I don't mind.
Oh, okay. We're gonna call shoes.
Shoes. Yeah, I go and make the rules. Every time I'm coming through, feeling like a school. If you talk about me, what you mean? I ain't gotta be the only one to wear the own tee. Then I step in the ring, John Cena, they ain't seeing me. Got the stripes up on my tee, I be freeing me. Talking about the referee, I got the stripes up on my tee. You really wanna blow the whistle, go and get the Stephanie Heffany. I ain't gotta do it with a deaf of me. You can do it every day, I do it, that's the deaf of me. Talk about me, I don't wanna speak that deaf. And every talk about me, I'ma really watch my steps. Go and catch your breath. When I walk in, every time I'm coming through, got my own floss stand. If you really want to do it, because my name is Mostan, then you know I've been a boss, got the profit cost stand.
Hey, damn, dude. What the heck? Did you know you were a great freestyler?
No, you know what? It's actually funny. No, I don't consider myself a freestyler. I actually write my music. So before I go like make a song or anything like that, or have a song idea in my head, I write it down. But I do this thing recently where I set an alarm at 10 p.m. every day. And when it goes off, it doesn't matter where I'm at or what I'm doing. I could be at a dinner, I could be at a wedding. I have to bust down to freestyle. So it goes off at 10 p.m. every single day. And now, like, even my friends or, like, people I'm around, they'll be like, is it, like, my phone goes, they're like, it's 10 p.m. They're like, go ahead. And they just look back and they're waiting for me to freestyle. And I'm like, sitting in the car, driving real fast, and I'm going real far. And then it's like, okay, so then I just keep going. So I was like, yeah.
Yeah, okay. That's sick. So what is your main process on when you're writing a song?
That's a good question. My main process when writing a song would definitely be me learning how to listen to my thoughts. We have so many thoughts that come in at once. So like when I hear a beat, I listen to the beat. Because, like how we were saying communication, right? The beat is talking to me. And it has something that it wants to say. That frequency, that whatever it was constructed or how it was composed or produced, that person put energy into that and it wants to be released. It wants to have something that is told. So I began to listen to it. I'm like, okay, well, what is the beat already telling me? Like, okay. And then I begin to formulate the story piece by piece. Like, okay, I hear that. Okay, I'm like, okay. They don't want to know what it really means to be a living legend, what it takes to be a king. They not seeing me like John Cena. And when I step up in the ring, stripes up on my tee, got the whistle referee. They really want to be J-Moss is the best. I'm the best up in the league. And I just be hearing the beat. I'm like, oh, okay, and that's what the beat is telling me. And then other times if I'll, because I like to make music about my experience. And that's what you're going to see with Shine. Hey! Yeah. And that's what you're going to see with Shine as well. Like me putting my life experience into this song to relate to other people's life experiences. So I ultimately like to focus on what I'm going through in that moment, listen to my heart, then I listen to my mind, then I put my personality into it. So then I just begin to just tell the story. So a lot of times I'll just get my my notes on my phone, or I have a pen and paper if it's nearby, or sometimes it'll just be like so quick coming off. I'll have a voice memo that I have to hurry up on my phone, like if random bars come to my head, I'm like, if I just went through something, my brain will naturally formulate it to a song, kind of in extent, so it can be released, because that's the energy has to go somewhere. So like I found a way for things that I experience in life and encounter throughout my day to be energy that is released through creativity. So I do that through my clothes as well. I believe that fashion is another way of expression. Yeah. So it's like the way you wear, because you could be wearing the same outfit as somebody else and you wearing it completely different than them. So it's like, what is your outfit telling, and how are you telling it, and how are you, depicting it?
Nice. So are you working on any clothes?
Yes, I am. I'm very excited about it. My soft release of my clothing brand actually drops at the end of this month, before 2023 is over. Okay. And then the official launch will be, I won't give the exact date, but it will be in early 2024. But I'm very excited for the soft release. That is coming very soon. I've been working on that. Just getting everything that I've been experiencing, probably like for the past 5 years, as I mentioned earlier, to come full circle. Like, since God has given me the green light, He's like, it's time. I'm like, okay, I'm ready now, because it's like I done been having all this energy pent up. It's where I'm like, oh, the world's finna get it. They finna see it. Like, and now it's here. So, basically, just to give you a little teaser on what the brand is that I'm releasing is Joshua Moss self-titled brand, where I'm making streetwear luxury. So like how I'll turn a simple streetwear outfit and I'll put it together to where it looks like you can wear that anywhere. You can wear that to dinner. You could wear that to the movies. You could wear that to a photo shoot. Like you could wear it to different places, and it's really just different ways of expressing yourself. And I express myself in a way that I believe I can get into any room. So I believe your outfit should allow that for you too. So I want to make a clothing brand that symbolizes that illustrates that. What I do with my form of creativity, my form of expression, and putting that into my clothes so that other people can wear those clothes and create their own way to express. And because just because this is how I made it don't mean it's how they're going to wear it. So I'm very excited to see what people put together and how they tell their story through my clothes that is about to drop very soon.
Very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, what do you have? Do you have any advice for anyone that is going through that hard time and is kind of looking for that motivation to like start making a change?
Absolutely. My advice to everybody that is going through anything would always be to take a pause. In life, what the world and society tries to do to us is make us move so fast. You know, I always give this analogy of we're these hamsters on this hamster wheel just going. But we don't take a pause to a moment and realize, like, where are we actually going? What are we actually doing? I'm seeing all this movement taking place, but I'm not seeing no fruits from my labor. I'm not seeing, you know, what it is that I've got from it. Like, I'm not seeing my seed. I'm not seeing the harvest. But I know I planted it. What's going on? It's because you're not nourishing it. You know, when we were just with friends, that you're not taking care of what it is that you're putting your energy to, what you're running towards, because you're actually just on a wheel and you're actually not going anywhere. You're just being complacent. You're repeating and perpetuating the same cycle. So my advice to everybody is take a moment to just rest. Whenever you feel like things aren't aligned, whenever you feel like something is not going your way, when you're struggling, whatever it may be, I know and a lot of those times we don't want to rest because it could be financial hardships or different things that we feel like we have to go and do something. We always want to go do something. We always want to go fix it. But it's like sometimes the best thing you could do is just sit still, recalibrate. Like a smart board when we was in school, when the marker started writing out of alignment, they would recalibrate it and doom.
What was that?
A smart board.
Oh, okay.
Like when we were in school, we had smart boards, and it's like the electronic dry erase boards, basically. Yeah. And they have the markers, and when they would write, if you were noticing it wasn't calibrated, like the line would be over here, and you wrote right there. You're like, okay, something's off. Like I have to recenter it. So there's a button in the middle of it that allows you to recenter on the smart board that you press, and you go doom. So you'll realign. So that's something that I've done, and I advise everyone else to do when they're going through disalignment. When you feel like, you know, I'm doing everything right, I'm showing up, I'm working, I'm doing all these things, but I'm not seeing anything come from that, or I'm not seeing it align. You got to recalibrate. You have to really take a deep look inwardly and ask myself, like, okay, well, am I actually aligned? What I'm writing, is this actually in the place I'm supposed to be writing it at? Am I actually supposed to be writing this? You know, like I'm on this hamster wheel, I'm going, but like, where am I actually going to? Right. So when you take a stop and you get off the hamster wheel as a hamster and you go get you some water, you get your little food, whatever they nibble on, and you realize like, oh my gosh, I've been looking at that wheel way too closely. Yeah. When you step outside of that and then you look around and you realize you're just a hamster in a cage and you've been running on a wheel that cannot leave that cage, you're going to be like, okay.
That explains it.
It's time for me. It explains it. That it's time for me to get out of this cage before I can run, so I can truly run. I can't run anywhere on a wheel. That's already keeping you complacent. So it's sometimes we would just be stuck. Like we just really be stuck. You running on a wheel that don't go nowhere. Just to get off of the wheel and realize you're actually in a cage. Right. So that cage may be a lot of different things. That cage could be what you went through at 12. That cage could be when your mother let you down, or when you didn't receive the love from your father. It could be that breakup you had at 15. It could be so many cages that we don't realize we're walking around in. So we're these hamsters in the cages, and we're not cognitive of it. We're not cognizant of it, and we're going on these wheels that we call life, that we call adulthood, that we call college, that we call our passion, all these different things that we're doing, and we're realizing that we're actually just running from something. You're running from that heartbreak at 15. You're running from the love you didn't receive from the person you were supposed to receive it from in your upbringing, whatever that trauma may be for you. And a lot of times when we go through stuff, it feels heavy, like right here, like, I'm going through this, like, I don't know how I'm gonna get through this, it's heartbreak. But it's like, actually, truth be told, it's not just now getting heavy. It's that you have been suppressing what you've been going through for so long, pushing it down. Now it's finally come up to the surface to be released. So now you're the hamster on that wheel that's tired, and it's like, I need to get water. You're like, okay, this is too heavy for me. I can't push this down any further. So it has to come up. It has to come out. The wheel has to stop. I have to get off of this wheel. And that's when you look around and be like, okay, when I let this out, you didn't show up for me when I went through this. And you didn't. Then you let it out. That's the cage that you see. And then you're able to that's the key right there. You're able to unlock that gate, unlock that door that's been keeping you confined, limited, restrained in that cage for so long, that boxed in.
Right, letting it go.
Let it go. Let it go and let God. And a lot of times we experience this in our mind. We get so boxed in our mind. We overthink. We perpetuate cycles. We make things way bigger than they actually are. You know, those mountains aren't that big. Nothing is bigger than God. Nothing is bigger than what you can do through God. Nothing is bigger than your strength that you have as an individual. Nothing is stronger or bigger than your purpose here while you're on this earth. Nothing is bigger than that. That bill is not bigger than that.
Do you think that everyone's purpose is the same?
No.
No?
Ultimately, we are one. So I do believe that we do have one specific purpose that we all can come together and do, which is like world peace. But in regards to our own individual specific assignments, I do think we all have our own like assignments on our desk.
Okay. Yeah.
For us to, or our own test.
Were you a good test taker?
Yes, because to be truthful,
oh, you cheated a lot.
I did cheat a lot, but you know what? I passed.
Okay.
And honestly, truth be told, the teacher that's handing me the test is the same teacher that's going to leave this classroom and still be going through life stuff herself or themselves. So it's kind of like none of us really know what we're doing. We're all that's trying to pass this same test that we call life. So it's like, yeah, I cheated. But it's like what I did was, you know, and I don't condone cheating.
Yeah.
But in the sense of, I think as a child, what I learned from that was I'm going to do whatever it is in life that I need to do to pass this test. And I'm going to do that morally, of course. Yeah. But in the sense, like, if there's an answer key that's available to me and I can use that to aid me in taking this test, I'm not going to take this test blindly. A lot of us like to just go through life blindly. I'm good off that. You know, like, I love to just let my intuition lead, let the Holy Spirit lead, and me just, like, you know, be carefree. I'm a very carefree person. I'm not that structured. I'm very free, but we cannot just be out here just letting life live us. I want to live life. And that's what happens when you don't take control of life.
That's true. No, I cheated on some tests too. Like
it happens.
Yeah, I mean, when you're a kid, like you're looking for any way to actually pass that test because you want to get like B's and A's. I was a B student, a B and A student, but I did not. It's the main reason is because I didn't do well on tests. Like I think for me, I always think that there's a trick. There's a trick question. Like all the questions are tricks. I did really well in math and writing was okay. But what was your strong suit?
Reading.
Reading, okay.
Reading. Comprehension, literature, writing.
Book reports? No. Yeah, me neither.
I was very competent at book reports, but did I do them?
I'll just watch the movie.
I'll just watch the movie. I'll spark notes it, and I'll spin it. I'll paraphrase it and submit that. But there will be certain things that I would be passionate about that I love to write about.
Like what?
Like just in general, like when they allow you, like it's a prompt that's self-motivated or anything that's about like life, I'll write about that. I can front, back, cover to cover. I can write you a book right now. But it's like when it comes to something that's just irrelevant, I'm like, I know this doesn't apply to my life or to what I want to do in life. Like you're telling me about a turkey and it's like, I don't even eat meat. So it's kind of like, you know, I'm not going to write about that. I could, but it's like I wouldn't use my time writing a 10-page paper on something like that or something in science that I'm not necessarily passionate about. I'll just look it up and get that submitted and get that A.
Yeah, exactly. Well, you got your bachelor's in what?
Mass media arts with a concentration in radio, television, and film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So you've really like pinpointed exactly what you wanted.
Yes.
Wow. So how have you used that so far?
So I don't want to be an advocate that says college is a scam because I think going to college was the best decision I could have made in my life. Shout out to Clark Atlanta University. I do believe that you can maneuver through life without going to college, like necessarily for the curriculum. I went there more so for the connection to network and the experience. And I feel like that is what I'm actually using right now, not necessarily the degree.
Right.
It's a nice piece of paper though, and it sits real nice in my home. Like, it looks good, but it's kind of like I did that more for me. And how I use it now is like, well, what I'm doing right now, like just taking the lessons that I've learned through my experience at college and becoming an adult and getting out there on my own, and, you know, kind of just after you do that, just kind of continuing that. I've applied that to like how I plan to dominate and take over the world, like right now. So it's not necessarily because I don't believe in conforming to the work system. That's my own personal thing.
In the world system?
In the work system.
Oh, okay. Work system.
Or the world system, either.
Okay.
So I'm gonna believe in myself until it pays off. So I'm just gonna keep trusting God, and He's gonna continue to provide for me. He's gonna continue to make a way for me until everybody catches on. So until then, I'm just gonna like believe in what He's told me. My promise over my life is, and that's already predestined and preordained.
Right. Oh, so you think everything is predestined?
I do believe it's predestined. I do believe. So this is my analogy for life. I believe we're in this bookshelf in the spirit, right? Heaven. And when you're in that bookshelf as a soul, which is not this vessel, not this body, you're looking at all these different pamphlets, right? And it's kind of like a rest stop when you have like all the different places, might say Alabama, Arkansas, Ohio, Texas, like all these different things. So I view that as Joshua, Robert, Juan, like all these different names. And I'm like, let me pick up this pamphlet of Joshua. Okay. It's like a book. I read it. I'm like, covered. That's a good book. Or you might just, some people in life, I feel like when we get down here and they don't know what's going on, I feel like they didn't read their book for real up there in the rest stop. Like they just read the back of it and it was like, okay, that's good. In the lobby, like they just read the back of it and they didn't know what they were really getting into. But I believe I was a soul that really read my book from cover to cover and it excited me, whatever it was. So that means even through all the stuff I knew I was going to go through or that I might go through, you know, I was able to flip through the pages and see that there is a good ending for me. So it's like, it's a good read. And honestly, a book would be boring if it didn't have any climaxes, rising actions, you know, a villain, all the different things that you have to go through in life. So it's like, and my book is going to be a good book to read. So it's like, I ain't mad at it. So you choose the book and they send you down here. So that's what I would equate to kind of being preordained or predestined in the sense of it is already written. But I do believe that as we get down here, we become illustrators of our book and we're able to depict our own story. It's kind of like a fill in the blank. So when a fill in the blank book is like set in front of you, this word can't change, that can't change. It's like certain things about myself, you can't change it. Certain things you just can't change. But in that middle, you do have room to fill in and add your say-so to it to complete that page and tell that story.
Well, what do you think about people that are like just good people, but bad things happen to them? Like,
that's a good question.
Things that are like, you know, people in the Middle East right now, you know, like there's a lot of really terrible stuff happening. But if things are predestined, then why was that destined?
Whew, that's a good question. You know, to be honest, and I send love to all those people that are going through those things right now because, you know, we don't know how good we have it, truly. And that's why I do like to wake up every morning and express my gratitude and thank God that I have my breath, I have my family. You know, we take those things for granted so much. I have access to running water. I have clothes on my back. You know, I'm not worried about shelter. So many different things that other people in the world do have to worry about right now. And I believe that those people that go through those things, and even like us, even though we might not be going through those specific things, I feel like sometimes it is for a greater good. And not in the sense of what they're going through. I don't condone that one bit. And I think there does need to be something that is done about it in a sense of how this world is coming together or coming apart. It's telling some type of story that I trust at the end is going to have a good ending. And that's why I believe people like you and me are here to talk about it, to raise awareness, to implement change, to be the change that we want to see. And a lot of times I've learned that hurt people hurt people. So switching gears a little bit, like a lot of times people that have gone through a lot of things in life, or like even people that have been imprisoned, like when you go back and look at their track record, you're like, oh, they've been in and out of jail since 13. And then people want to judge them and they want to place these preconceived notions over them, but it's like you don't see what they went through at 3 or you didn't see that they were thrown in a dumpster at 1, you know, like all the different things that they could have gone through that led them to where they are. And instead of, and also I feel like it's society's fault too and our system's fault, which is why I say I'm an advocate for I don't conform to the world, and I believe I'm in it but I'm not of it, because it's designed right now for that cycle to be perpetuated. We're designed to be hamsters on that wheel, to be in the cage. It's made that way.
Right.
It's not. This is not how life is supposed to be. So I'm here to remind everybody that we got to wake this up, and we have to be the change that we want to see, and we have to pause. We have to get off that wheel that we've been placed on. They place you on that wheel when you're a kid, like, okay, you're gonna start school here, you're gonna do this, you're gonna do that, you don't have a say so, and they just throw you into it. Okay, well now you do have a say so, but you have to go into the workforce. Sorry, like even back then they would recruit people. Okay, actually you're actually gonna be enlisted to the military. I'm so sorry. Yeah, you want to be a doctor? Oh, okay, that's cool. Oh, you like to make clothes? Oh, I'm so sorry. Yeah, you're actually going to come fight for this government right now. So many things that have been taken out of our control that I feel like the balance needs to be restored. So I feel like right now the best approach for us is just to be the example, to cause awareness, what we're doing here. We're talking about it, to bring more attention to it, to break free from what society has placed on us, because ultimately it's not us. And, people that are going through different things in the world, individuals that have been placed in systematic oppression, people that go through hardships, it's kind of like life is thrown at them, which is like, to answer your question, like, a person that has constantly just gone through the ringer, thing after thing, trial after trial. They're the nicest person ever. They don't deserve any of it. A lot of times it's based off the environment, it's based off the world that we live in, it's based off of society's projections of what past people have gone through, and the cycle's just being played out. And it's like, until we do something about it, kind people are going to keep getting their heart broken. Good people are going to keep getting overlooked, and people that are not actually good and doesn't have actual good intentions for the work are going to keep being risen up, putting into the position that the good people want, and they don't want it for themselves. They want it to be doing what me and you are doing right now, to advocate and to really explain and cause awareness on what's going on and actually be the change that we want to see. So,
yeah, that was a really good response. I also think that it's because certain situations, like for instance in our lives, that you were kind of mentioning that there is this like pent up, like we keep suppressing over and over again, like the traumas that we have been through, and then at one point there's a breaking point, and that's kind of what happens in certain countries. There's certain breaking points where because things weren't addressed and their relations aren't at a balance, like they haven't been able to have those discussions with if you were to equate people like how you are with yourself with how countries should also behave. Like we haven't had that conversation, we haven't been real about certain things, so needing to like that's where all the conflict is coming from, is confronting those situations that now are becoming so prevalent that we need to talk about it. So it is the catalyst to creating change is through being able to confront those really difficult conversations. And some people just don't like to talk. Some people are they have other ways of expressing but there's many different phases that we have to go through, and anger is going to be one of them. Grief and all this mourning and then the rebuilding and slowly change can happen. But I think just understanding where we're at will give us an idea of where we should go and how to apply
that's really good.
What we can do to avoid those similar things. So
that's good.
Yeah, that's kind of the way I see it. But that's just a very general idea of how I view governments, but and also the relationship. People are just all about relationships, really. So, if you can see where you can nurture the relationships around you, that's when you can really create a good foundation for something. For people to also fall in line with, and also or create their own roadmap to lead other people in a better place.
Blueprint.
Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Yeah, that's my mindset towards it. I don't really like diving too into like politics or anything like that, because I kind of stay in my own bubble for the most part, because I really value my own energy. And that like there's just so much energy out there that could confuse you and mislead you. So I tend to just stay in my own lane for the most part, and just I'm working on my calisthenics and
I love it. It's like that's big, and it's just like, hold on, I'm gonna just be big in here. I'm the same way to an extent. For me, it's kind of like remember the commercials where the hamsters used to be like in this clear ball and they're just like rolling. It's me using the hamsters, but like, and they're just like be rolling through the city, right?
Yeah.
That's how I view my life. Like I've found a way to create my own bubble, like my safe haven, where my energy is pure, is light inside. But I'm still out there like, you know what? Okay, we gotta, like, I'm still seeing what's going on. I'm like, okay, I see what's going on, but I don't let what the world has that is dirty come onto me and stain me, because it's kind of like having an all-white outfit and then someone getting a red glass of wine and just throwing it and just staining. And that's how potent the world can be. You know, that's truly how we go through stuff. And you could be having a good day, starting your day off great. You go out into the world and then somebody does something, they cut you off on the highway, or it's like, you know, then that build up of things, it's like, okay, you had your day by the grip when you woke up, and then slowly but surely, you just kept letting it go. It's just, they're just taking your piece, taking pieces of you. So I found ways to kind of stay in my bubble and just roll through life a little bit. So it's like, same, I don't like to get into the politics too much or do anything like that, but I do like to still make sure I'm rolling past it. Like, I see what y'all doing over there. All right, okay. Y'all ain't finna pierce me though, but I see what y'all doing though. Don't let the ball fool you. It's clear. So I can see through it and you can see through it as well. So you can see me, see you, see me, see you.
Oh man.
Okay, but yes.
I like that. What so you're kind of a rapper as well?
I am. Yeah. I am a rapper.
So
that's actually my first passion.
Really? So you started as a rapper?
Yes. And then I learned that I could sing. So then I taught myself how to sing.
That's beautiful. So
yes.
When did you feel like you found your voice?
Oh my goodness. I remember being in middle school going into high school, and I auditioned for this play that we were doing. I was in theater, and it was called like Zombie Prom or whatever. It was a musical. And literally everyone did their auditions and it was time for me to do mine. I sung John Legend, Ordinary People, right? It wasn't up to par. It wasn't my best. And I just remember like the embarrassment in that moment, but I was like, I still really want to be a part of the play. But I still was so confident. It was just like, I know that wasn't the best song that I did, but maybe it just wasn't the right one for my voice. Or like, maybe I can do something. I'm going to be in this play. And the teacher, he was like, so you're going to be the janitor. So you're going to be the janitor in the play. You won't have any roles, like as far as like lines or singing, but you're going to get to sweep the broom across the stage, right? I said, okay. I took that with so much like pride and like confidence. I'm like, that's fine, because I'm in it. And I really just wanted to be in it. And I took that and ran with it. I said, okay, I'll show you the best janitor you've ever seen in your life. And to this day, they like people from back then still talk about it in my circle back home. Like, I stole the show. Like, not
really?
Like not to boast on, but like I took that role and I made myself so known in every scene that they were like, we love the janitor. They were like, can we take pictures with you at the end? And I just would come through and I would make these faces and I would like stuff that he didn't tell me to do, I knew to just implement to kind of get a reaction from the audience. And while they would have them like singing and dancing, I would add myself into a scene. What? I would just go and I would literally go and just get the broom and just start sweeping across the thing and like sweeping, like start dancing with them or like doing like funny stuff with the broom, making faces and like throwing the broom in the air, like, not throwing it, but like kind of like bucking at it with the broom, like just doing so many things to express myself from that box that I felt I was put in. So
the play was Lady and the Tramp?
It was called Zombie Prom.
Oh, okay.
Yes, oh my goodness. Hilarious. Like, just how you're imagining it, that's just how it was.
So you rewrote the whole play.
And made myself a main character. Yeah. I was only supposed to be on the stage twice. It's only probably 2 times in the script where it said janitor, star, janitor comes on stage and exits the stage. Yeah. I took over the entire thing and it was like, well, no one's going to stop me. So that is what I've taken from that. And I've been doing that in my life. I've kept that since, like applying anything. And that's when I really found my voice, because I learned that my voice isn't just in what I'm actually exerting. It's in my posture. It's in my mindset. It's in my thought process. It's in my actions. There's different ways to utilize your voice. And of course, I know like audibly using your voice, but in a sense to me energetically, how I learned when I didn't have a voice that I was still using it. You know, like even though I wasn't necessarily speaking, I had no speaking roles, I communicated effectively to the audience everything that I need to, probably more effectively than the people that had lines in that song. So I took that and I was like, wow, that's what I can do in life. So I've been doing that ever since. And that's what a 1, 2, 3 is. That's a 9, 10. And that's a doo-wop-bop, that feeling, like those, you know, like, and I've just kept that and I built the momentum from it. So that really helped me find my voice. And like, as far as like my singing voice, I used to always think I could sing. Like I used to always kind of pretend and tell people I could sing because I just really believed that I could, and I kind of was hopeful that one day I would be able to. And I just kept doing it. I just kept practicing. If there's a song that I like, I would sing it I would try my best to sing it exactly how that artist is singing it. A Beyonce song, a Nicki Minaj song, whatever the song is, I'm gonna sing it I'm screaming. And to everybody else that's in the car with me, it might not sound good to them, but in my head I'm like, oh, I just hit that note. Like, ooh. Yeah. And then eventually after time, and I really noticed it like heavily these past 2 years, I'll start singing. I'm like, ooh, and somebody in the car will be like, that was good. And I'm like, oh, that was good. Hold on, wait a minute. Okay. Okay. And then I just kept practicing. So then I was like, okay, that note was good. So if I hit that note again, over and over, I can hit that note and I would learn that note. I'm like, okay, da da da. And I'm like, okay, okay, that's a da da. Like, okay, boom. And I just start building. And then I just started singing full out songs. I'm still learning because this is self-taught. I do plan on taking vocal lessons, but I'm very proud of what I was able to do.
Nice. So who are your like top influences when it comes to singing?
Oh, when it comes to singing in specific.
And then we can get into the top influences in general.
That's a tough one. Okay. We have to say Beyonce because, hello, she's the queen and she has mastered what I intend to master as well. Like, as far as her longevity and as far as her stage presence, her performance, the meticulous thought process that she has into putting every detail into every area and how it just is cohesive. Like, that she is a number one in her range, her vocal abilities. She's number one. I would say Whitney Houston comes to mind as well. Now, I wouldn't just say that I just would be listening to all of Whitney Houston's songs growing up or anything like that, but I just remember hearing her voice and like thinking to myself, like, that's a voice outside of this world. Like, I want to sing like that one day. So then, like, hearing her song, I Have Nothing, or like, you know, a lot of her songs that she did, it really just was like, that's possible? Like, you can sing like that's something you can actually do. And that to me really taught. And I love Lauryn Hill, how she has used her broad range of her vocal ability when it comes to rap, to singing, to jumping from rap to singing, to talk singing, to like everything that she does and how animated it is and how she's able to illustrate and depict her story through her words has really definitely influenced me as far as music and singing.
Okay, so those are your top three.
Yeah, not in any specific order, but
okay, very cool. Did you listen to any like so for me, I listened to the Beatles growing up. Like those were my main musical influence. Pete Seeger, Beatles. Benny Goodman was a clarinet player that I was into jazz back. That's all I could listen to. I wasn't allowed to listen to rock, rap. It was just mostly classical or I mean, I guess the Beatles were like the old style, like nothing that was like on Hot 99.5, like nothing that's like modern music, anything with profanity or anything like that.
Right, no bops, no.
Yeah, like it. That was my top three that I would listen to. Who were your top three when you listen? Like you would listen to, like, who were the artists that got you into music?
Oh my goodness! Well, we have to shout out to the number one, who has literally influenced everything that I do in music, is Onika Tanya Mirage, Nicki Minaj.
Oh, yeah.
I love her. I really do. And it's like, I love her music. I love her craft. More so, I love her as a person. And I remember being 10 years old when her first studio album came out, Pink Friday. I remember begging my mom to give me that CD for Christmas, and I got it for Christmas, and I made us all listen to it. Like, anytime we got in the car, I had my CD with me, and I was like, I put it in. I'm like, we're playing that. I'm like, we're playing that. We're going to listen to that. And her crazy personas, her crazy ideas, her freedom liberated me. How free she was in her music, how passionate she was about her music, and how she let her personality come alive in her songs. I believe like I'm like that is me, and that's what I intend to do with my music. That's what I intend to do with Shine. Like I want everyone when they hear it to not just hear it and then like it leaves them. I want it to fill them with something. Like I want them to feel something from it. I want them to be impacted by it. I want it to resonate within their soul. Like I want to make their body move. So my number one is definitely Nicki Minaj. I still love her to this day. She has not let up. She's the same that she was back then.
Yes, really.
She's my number one artist, honestly. I would definitely say. In addition to her, I would say that I would just always listen to. I would say Nicki Minaj. I have always listened to Drake. Because one, he's always being played. But two, I've studied how he's been able to remain so consistent. And not just consistent as in he's just putting out stuff. There's other artists that just put out stuff and they're consistent. Like, I know y'all dropping, but it's like, all right, what y'all dropping? He consistently finds ways to reinvent himself, kind of like a snake shedding its skin. Let's make this a hot topic moment.
Okay.
Like where we can go back and forth, question for question.
Okay.
So I'll start and we just keep pinging questions off each
Okay.
other.
That sounds cool.
So welcome to Hot Topics, y'all.
All right.
So what is something that I wouldn't know about you based off what I've met you so far?
I'm adopted.
I know
Boom.
that. Okay, ask me a question.
Yeah, all right. What is something, what do you think is your greatest weakness?
My greatest weakness is overthinking. Okay. What is the recent lesson you've learned in life?
You can't control everything.
That's good.
What is your greatest fear?
Failing.
Failure. Oh, failing.
What is your favorite color?
Red. Burgundy, like a burgundy red. I like that. Well, what is your favorite thing?
My favorite thing is God.
Okay.
Honestly. What is your favorite food?
Thai food. I think Thai food is one of my favorites. What is your favorite place?
My favorite place is an airplane, traveling.
In an airplane?
Yeah. Kind of. Not really. I don't like airports, but I love being on the plane. That getting up rush. What is...
Okay.
What is... Who makes you you?
I do.
Okay. That's good.
Let's see. If Nicki Minaj was here sitting down, what would you say to her?
I would tell her, thank you so much for what you've done. You're the reason I'm alive. Keep doing what you're doing. Never give up. Don't let the world place any of their doubts onto you. You are this entertainment industry, and be that. And I want you to take that and run with it. Like, don't let nothing get in front of you from doing that. What is your favorite thing about me?
About you? You're very outspoken, energetic. You seem very genuine. So.
Thank you.
Yeah. Let me see. So, all right, what is your favorite thing about me?
My favorite thing about you is that you're very multifaceted, very strong. You appear to be very strong physically, but I'm referring to your heart and I'm referring to your spirit. I can see through, like, and you haven't even told me, like, your whole full personal life, but I can just see, like, how you carry yourself with that willpower to just get everything done by any means necessary, that strength, that endurance. It's very motivating. So that would be my favorite thing about you, like how you're able to use that and apply that to the different things and areas of your life, which makes you multifaceted.
Thank you. That's beautiful.
How many siblings do you have?
I have a sister. One other sister. And maybe some others somewhere. Wow. If I don't even know. I don't know how many kids my parents had. So. Wow. Let me see. So. Yeah, how many siblings do you have? I feel like you have a lot, actually.
I do have a lot of siblings. I have my sister who has the same mom and dad as me, Janae. We're 16 months apart, but my dad has 5 kids in total. So my mom has 2 kids, my dad has 5 kids. So the 2 kids that my mom has is me and Janae that we share together. Same parents, and then my dad would be an additional, 3? Yes, that would make us 5. So like 3, I have 3 siblings outside of Janae.
Okay. Sheesh. Are you like the middle child?
I am the oldest to my mom, and I have an older sister. And so my older sister, me, my younger sister, another younger sister, and then my youngest brother. 5 of us.
Okay.
Then I have a big step family too.
Oh my God. Are you close with all of your family?
Absolutely, I love family.
So
I have 3 stepsisters who are like my regular sisters. So all that I have really have more than 5. I have more than 4 siblings. I really have 8 siblings, including I have a god brother too. Just a lot of different. I'm very family oriented.
oh, I love that. What I'm very curious. What's like an unpopular opinion that you have?
That's a good question. Well, okay, an unpopular opinion. Can I change that to what's my pet peeve?
I think unpopular opinion is like definitely harder to answer.
It is. Okay, let me not run from that question. Unpopular opinion.
But I want to hear your pet peeve too.
Okay, I'll do that one next. I'll answer this one. Unpopular opinion. The first thing that popped into my head was it's okay not to be okay, but that's very popular to me. So I would say, unpopular opinion. You don't need to go to school.
Okay. Yeah, that is unpopular.
Yeah.
Ish.
Yes.
I think it's becoming more. Like,
yeah, like people are. No, actually, boom, got it. Do I pop 910? Unpopular opinion. You don't need a job.
What do you mean?
You don't need a job.
Who doesn't?
Anybody.
Why?
Because God will provide for you.
So how are you just gonna live on the street?
No, I don't live on the street. I don't got no job.
So you think that most people shouldn't have a job?
I don't want people to just go and quit their jobs after
Yeah.
watching this, but I do say if you trust in yourself and you trust in what you're passionate about. See, I didn't say you shouldn't work.
Okay.
I said you shouldn't have a job. Job I equate to the hamster wheel. Passion, creativity, everything outside of that. Purpose, like when we were talking about like that brochure, that purpose, that's outside of the wheel and the cage. So you gotta free yourself from the job, the 9 to 5, that work life, before you can even begin to build your new foundation. If you build no quicksand, it's gonna keep sinking. You're gonna keep suffocating. Perpetuate the cycle.
Okay. Yeah, I could see some validity. I think that there should be a basis of a lot of people doing the 9 to 5 because that is what our foundation is built on, is that consistency, and not everyone is going to be as motivated and driven. So I think having at least that foundation is important. But I personally agree, like from my experience, that like I would bet on myself more than I bet on a paycheck that I make every week.
Yeah.
Even if I'm not making any money for a long period of time, I know that I'm banking on my future.
Yes.
And so that's, to me, one of the most important things. So.
Can I ask you something?
What's that?
Why is it that you think that maybe certain people, like if we were to just stop all the 9 to 5 system together, why wouldn't certain people be motivated to fulfill their mission or their purpose?
Well, I think a lot of it is we are kind of clouded. We're not as guided in our energy, and so there's a lot of confusion that is preventing people from knowing what route to take, and that the fact that people have that consistency of someone else telling them what to do, gives kind of that security and the ability to provide, and not everyone would be able to fend for themselves. I do think that the strongest will survive in a lot of ways, but now we live a little bit more in a take care of the weak society, and that's the general focus I'm noticing is to kind of sedate people and get them to think that this is their life, and then keep them in that box instead of empowering and helping people branch out. So I think that if things were to shift, then maybe, which I do see slowly in the way people are consuming like education and getting knowledge on things. So I think the more that spreads, the more out out of the box thinkers we're gonna have.
Absolutely.
So
Okay, that's good.
yeah, I don't think everyone's thinking outside the box yet, and
They're
then
not.
we're not ready. I don't think they're ready to even
Be free.
be free yet. I mean, and it's not that I can choose when they are, but
Right.
I think it's just a matter of having the right influence around them, and then that's up to them.
You could lead a horse to the water, but you can't make him drink it.
Yeah.
I love what you said about, like, a lot of times we feel society is clouded and, like, perception is clouded. And I always give the analogy and equate that to, like, you know, when you're driving your car and the windshield fogs up. You can't see through it. So it's like, yeah, you're in control of your vehicle and you're driving, but it's like, if you don't see clearly where you're actually going or what's in front of you, you could run into something. It's so many different things that could happen. So it's like, until we turn that defrost on and we allow piece by piece with peace, piece by piece to present itself, that's when we'll begin to have the clarity. It's like, and it might only start with that one little area, and it might not be the area you need to see in, because it's like it starts over there when it first turns on, the defrost turns on over there, and you're like, okay, I still need to see the road in front of me. Okay, like, help. I need to make a decision today about my job. I need to make a decision this, like, you know, blah, 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 blah. This bill's due this Friday, like, whatever the case may be. And then piece by piece by piece, it begins to and then you have clarity. Then you have the full road ahead of you. You have the full perception. You have the full perspective. So I do think it is good that we do have certain things in place for people that are clouded right now, because truth be told, they wouldn't know where to go. They wouldn't know what's in front of them, and they would run into stuff, and then it would cause accidents for other vehicles that's probably driving as clear as possible, and the other person's so clouded, and now they're colliding and, you know, having this collision take place, which is really what's playing out in life right now. But I do believe with conversations like this and people like us working in our passion and looking at that pamphlet that we read up there and trusting that it does have a good ending and that we are going to succeed, it's going to open the doors up. And I equate it to, like, kind of going around handing keys, like people watching this, or, you know, you telling someone, like, you're handing them a key, and it's a key to their heart where you unlock that cage in them. You unlock what they might be going through, that you press that defrost button for them, and they can get back on the road, you know. And I think the 9 to 5 is kind of like a way to pull people over. Like, kind of like the cop does, like it pulls people over and
put someone on a conveyor
belt. Right, because they feel like they're moving. A lot of times they feel like they're moving, but it's like you're actually not going anywhere. But yeah,
I think having that blind faith that you're, like, because that's the thing, is I don't actually see what's completely in front of me. You know, like, that I've learned that's how I've managed my expectations and me trying not to control everything, is that I could plan a day or two in advance, but I really don't know what the next few days are gonna, like, what's to come.
Right.
So it's not. I think where I excel is being able to work on the fly, and I think that's like an important attribute for entrepreneurs to have is not being completely reliant on the future and just figuring out what to do day by day to get them closer. And it's like running in a blizzard where you can't see anything, but you just hoping you're going in the same direction.
Like, I really hope.
Direction. So, I mean, part of it is that, but also listening to yourself and being able to have that inner conversation with, like, all right, do I believe in what I'm doing? Is it resonating? I think that's also overlooked sometimes is that connection to self.
Yes.
And I feel like the way that you can really nourish that is being aware of what you're consuming, type of food you're eating. Are you taking care of yourself, working out, your mind? Are you confident in being in certain situations? And if not, maybe confront those situations a bit more.
Right.
But, like, putting yourself through, I like putting myself through hard times, actually.
Me too.
Yeah.
I do.
In a way, just to see how I'll pull through. So even though I know there's a life jacket, you know, the same way we were saying that, even though there's this somewhat of a net.
Safety net, yeah.
Yeah, but we just fearlessly are figuring out
jumping, leaping.
What can happen. So not everyone has that liberty, but at the same time, taking that mentality, like, you'll be less likely to fall as far.
That's very true.
Yeah.
Keep leaping.
Yeah,
Keep
exactly.
jumping. It's a net down there anyways, right? So it's like, are we really gonna fall? And it's like, okay, what if you do? It's like, well, at that point, what could you really do anyways? It was like, would you rather be stuck on that building you were on before, or get attacked by whatever you were running from in the first place that made you want to jump across this building? You know, whatever it is that you were going through, you rather battle that, deal with that, fall, or at least take that hope, that, you know, that leap of faith, and hope that you land, and hope that you land successfully, nothing broken, you know.
It's kind of where I'm going to shift the conversation just slightly, but it's interesting. The way I view people is that I see them what they would be like in a retirement home, almost. I'm like, would they be a bitter old man? Would they be like still a nice person to be around when they were old? And it's like I just imagine, because I think maybe this is like me thinking about when I would visit my granddad at the old folks home. What are they called? The old folks home?
Yeah. A retirement, elderly center, a
retirement
center.
Yeah, like an elderly home.
Senior living.
Senior living, okay. And so we would be in the cafeteria, and we'd be eating as a family. And I would just kind of look around, and I would just see, like, this is where people ended up. You know, like, this is kind of where they're ready to just let off the gas, and they're just chilling.
Yeah. And
I'm just seeing what, you know, like, the collection of the different types of personalities and how they learn how to cope. And it's just, you know, it's usually just like a few, you know, two people just sitting at a table, and they're just like discussing what they're going through. But yeah, I just kind of, I look at things like, how would you be like if you were old? You know, like, what kind of old person would you be? Would you be like a spiteful old person because you're like, oh, like, I just have so much to complain about? Or would you be like just at peace, you know, like, I did everything I could, but you know what, my time is, I'm ready to just let go?
First of all, that's a very refreshing perspective. I've never thought about that in my life. I don't think I've ever been. I love that.
Yeah.
I have this joke in my family and it came from my grandma. She calls me Papa. Ever since I was a kid, I used to walk around like I was somebody's grandpa. Like, you know, I've always been a very old soul. So it's so funny that you asked that, because honestly, a lot of times I already look through the lens as an old man that is sitting in that retirement home that has already made it through. So when I'm pouring into people, I'm like, baby, I'm just letting you know it's going to be okay. I'm telling you it's going to be okay because I done been through it. And it's like, boy, you is 23 years old. You don't know what. And also, you know, through life experiences, I have gone through a lot, and I've gone through a lot, but I've grown through a lot. So I've never just allowed anything I've gone through to just hinder me to a point where I'm not learning from it. And I believe that's why I'm so resilient now. So to be honest, I view myself as a very graceful older person, because I view myself as that old man right now. Like, I feel like I'm 777 years old right now, specifically that number. And I feel like throughout my life, taking it back to the spirit, throughout all the brochures that I've picked up and put down, this is the last one I'm going to pick up, and I'm going to get it right. I read it cover to cover. I done had times when I was in the gift shop and I didn't read it cover to cover. I just was hard-headed. I just read the back of the book, and I just got sent down here, whatever the case may be. And now I believe I am truly fulfilling my purpose, God's purpose here for me that is already pre-written, preordained, as we were discussing. And so I would have no regrets. I live every day to the fullest as if it was my last, because you never know. So honestly, as an old man, I imagine that I would be how I am right now. I imagine myself that I'm going to still be young and hot when I'm old. Like, it's pushing 85, but it's giving he 27. Like, fresh out the grease, like, fresh out the paint, like, you know, black don't crack. The skin's still going to look good, but it's like, you going to tell I'm a little older, but it's just kind of like, I feel like I'm still going to be me. Like, that soul in me is never going to die. It's never going to leave to the day I leave.
That's beautiful. Well, where can people find you, Joshua?
Y'all can find me on Instagram at Joshua Moss. My TikTok is Joshua Moss _, and my Twitter is Joshua Moss 7. Those are my handles. My YouTube is Josh, the number 2, and then Josh. That's just like basically the old me to the new me.
Okay. And so what can people expect to see from you?
Expect me taking over the world. Expect me to do exactly what I said. My title is as an energy curator. Expect me to ignite the flame within every soul that I encounter. Relentlessly. Without a doubt. Going full-fledged until I have no breath in my body. I will make that dream that's in my head, that's in my heart, my reality. And I will make it this world's reality.
Boom. and then our song that's gonna be coming out.
Shine, hello. Shine is a movement. It's really about, and that's what Shine is. What I just said, that's what Shine is. So we're doing that.
We already made the song.
The song. You get it.
The song has been
The
created.
song is already written.
Yeah.
When I read the brochure, when you read your brochure, we both seen that on page 23 and on page 22.
Yeah.
Whatever page it is on for you.
I do want to know. I think other people want to know too. How many hamsters do you have inside your brain right now?
Wow, that's a good one, right? Because, and it's so funny. I always use hamster analogies. It's funny because if you think about it, they use hamsters and they use like rats when they're like testing stuff in like science labs and stuff like that. So I think that's why I use it so much. Rats aren't relatable to me, so it's like, and they're not appealing to pour into somebody. So I don't use rats as an example, but I feel like hamsters are just, they're cute. And hamsters are things that we allow in our homes. Okay. So it's kind of like a as above, so below example for us. It's like, you let your kid get a pet gerbil or a pet hamster. It's something that's on their desk and it's something that you can experience and see, but it's like really just a play-by-play of what you're actually living.
I actually didn't. Now that you brought it up, I don't think people are talking about gerbils enough.
They're not. What happened to the gerbils?
Yeah, I know.
Freezer, where are they? Are they okay?
I don't even know.
I haven't heard about gerbils either.
Yeah, I mean, I just hear about hamsters, guinea pigs, but with gerbil?
They were hot at one point.
I don't even know what a gerbil is.
Me either. I haven't seen. I do, but like, not really. I know a hamster now. As you can see. I can't visualize a gerbil.
A gerbil.
I hope they're okay.
I bet you I know what a gerbil is once I see a picture of it. I'm like,
absolutely.
That same thing for squirrels. It's like, I was just talking to a friend of mine. Where did squirrels even come from?
Okay, it's this new thing. I'll never forget it. I was walking down the street with somebody, and they were from New York. And the squirrel was this big squirrel, and it came and like ran directly in front of us, and they were like tree rat, and I was like,
the squirrel said that to you?
No, my friend I was walking with. And I'm like, wait a minute. I never thought about the fact that squirrels are just tree rats that are just more loose. And it's like, because we put so much negative, we ain't, highlighting the rats, but at the end of the day, we put so much negative stigmatism around rats, and like they're in the dark, and it's like squirrels are in the light. They just get to be free and grab their nuts and run and do all these different things and live in the trees. It's like rats can't do the same things. We're like, because what rats bring, the energy they bring, but it's like a squirrel's just a tree rat. When you really like break down the anatomy of a squirrel to an extent, don't help me to remember. I told you I cheated through school. I'm just playing, but I'm just playing. I was actually an honor roll student, but sometimes you got to pass the test, y'all. But tree rat.
Yeah, because I
can't get over it.
Are squirrels on islands, deserted islands? Did someone bring a squirrel to an island, or did squirrels from those islands?
I don't know.
Do you think there's Jamaican squirrels?
I do believe there's Jamaican squirrels.
That'd be interesting.
I just went to Jamaica. Did I see any squirrels? Now that I think about it, I didn't see any squirrels.
Did you see any crazy animals in Jamaica?
Yes. Well, not specifically in Jamaica, because I stayed on a resort, but I just went to Mexico recently too. And literally, we woke up and it was just like an iguana just calmly just walking past. I'm like, what the heck? Like, it was like just...
Like on the road?
No, where we were staying. I was staying at a villa in Mexico. An iguana, it wasn't wearing anything. That's the problem. Yeah. Just all naked out here thinking that you just own this. But that's the problem. Us humans, like, we done took over everything. But no, it was just right there. Me and my sister were like, like, that's too close to home. That's too close to comfort. But it was just like, well, we are in its hood. Like, we in your hood right now. So it's like, actually, you got it, big bro.
Okay, iguanas, any sort of like, I don't even know what type of animals are in Jamaica, to be honest. Iguanas, I mean, turtles probably, but.
Turtles. What animals did I see in Jamaica?
Where in Jamaica were you?
I went to Montego Bay. I believe I saw a monkey in the tree. When we were driving to go... I went to like a, you know how they have the cenotes and they have like different excursions. You could ride the horse and all that. So we left the resort that I was staying at to go drive to one of those things. And I believe I saw like a monkey in a tree or like something that was like moving to the tree that gave the energy of a monkey. And I don't know, I got to fact check that if like monkeys are just loose in Jamaica to the point where they are able to do that. But I know in certain countries there's like certain things that are just like loose, like certain areas of the world, they have cattle that just roams the street, sheep that just roam the street. I forgot somewhere in Asia or like around that area, there's something that they let just roam the street that I found recently that was very intriguing, but I can't think of it right now. But different things that animals just roam the street. And we're so institutionalized, so we,
You know, now to think of it, like if we were to, and this might be a little deep, but I like having deep conversations.
Me too.
But if we were to, if all animals could speak, because we're just like one part of the animal kingdom. We're just
Right.
like maybe the top.
Literally.
But there are so many more animals in this world that don't have a voice.
Right.
And that, like, do you think that I wonder if we were to put a voice behind like lions and all sorts of like other animals, what would they also agree with how we're treating the world?
No. And it brings me back to when you just said that, you know, they don't have a voice. It brought me back to when I was a janitor in that play, and I didn't necessarily have a role, like I didn't have a voice, but I still found a way to communicate. And it's like a lot of times the humans, we operate in our ego, and like we don't see what we're doing to the world before it's too late. Like we're really like breaking and destroying and like having these things that are taking place that we're not even cognitive of in the now moment as we're doing it, because we want this quicker, we want that, or we want it this way. And a lot of times it's like, who said that we're better than the dolphins that are able to communicate with each other? Because I ain't never seen no dogs or no cats have any problem communicating with one another. It's just in a language that we don't understand. So it's like, I might not speak Spanish, and I might speak American. I might speak English. You know, like all the different languages. I might not speak African, but I might speak Spanish. So it's like different ways that you could learn different languages, but it's like, it's still not the same thing. But it's ultimately saying the same thing. I could say one word in English, and then another person says that same word in Spanish, but it's two different expressions, but we're saying the same thing. So it's like, that's what the animals do. They're saying the same thing when the dog is barking, because it's someone walking past the door. They're saying the same thing that we're like, who is it, when they ring the doorbell.
Right.
You know, when a baby is hungry and the baby can't talk yet and they're crying to express you that they need to be fed. So it's like different. I think we just need to expand our perception on like communication. And I think it'll help us, because I feel like the animals do communicate to us that it's not what it's supposed to be. Like, hey, y'all probably shouldn't be doing that, but it's like we so
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, we're kind of fixed. We're centered in and on our own agenda.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I've really enjoyed this conversation.
This has been an immense pleasure, honestly.
And, it's been super dope. I loved your energy the whole time.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You too.
And
We're just getting started.
Yeah, we got a lot to come. Yeah, so subscribe to the channel and follow us on Patreon, and more to come. So
Okay.
catch you guys on the next one.